Thank you, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, here I find myself back in the back benches, freed from the shackles of government, being able to say what I really mean and what I really want to say.
Yes.
And you're all going to be extremely disappointed, because sometimes I find opposition business extremely tedious. Because here we have the classic attempt to get that gotcha moment, to talk down the government and give no ideas about delivery, no ideas about what they would do. We used to, you'll remember this, Presiding Officer, we used to discuss the big ideas here during all parts of this Chamber's duties of business. We used to talk about it all the time, but no longer. It just seems to be this very simple gotcha, trying to get the next headline from the opposition parties. Liam Kerr went and said, you know, put party politics aside. And, Presiding Officer, I'd quite gladly do that. If people genuinely want to work with me and others in the SNP to make that difference to young people's lives, I would say let's go for it. And then he goes into the most partisan political speech I think I've heard for quite some time. Free school meals are there to support many families who are struggling. And I'm happy to work with the government and others to achieve all our ambitions on school meals. But this is more than just an academic discussion for me, because with my background, my family are from Faggy, which for the official report, that's actually Fergusley Park in Paisley. And it's an area that has had its challenges with poverty over the years, and that's what this is all about. I'm here to represent the people of Paisley and to actually represent these people that I have grown up with all the time. And Paisley, Fergusley Park, like other parts of Paisley in Scotland, has had to deal with the challenges with little support from successive UK governments. The Scottish Government has invested and supported these families as much as they can do. A perfect example of that is £400 million worth of measures such as the Scottish Child Payment, which has brought 100,000 children out of poverty. These are things that the Government has to do to focus on while dealing with the constraints of the Westminster settlement. The problem is the Scottish Government can't keep propping up continual failing UK governments. As I've already stated, our ongoing challenge in Scotland is to continually be pampered by successive UK governments. Surely with the full powers of independence, we could change all of our children's future for the better, and moving away from the usual 14 years of Westminster failure on top of decade after decade of failure from Westminster. Keir Starmer is in 2 weeks and he's chucked it already, and he says things can only get worse. But the SNP vision is greater than that. Where Westminster says the game's a bogey, we might as well chuck it. We offer hope. We want to empower the people of Scotland and make their own decisions on the future. Even with the devolution settlement, the SNP have still managed to bring 100,000 children out of poverty, while Tory, Labour, Westminster accelerates further austerity. Presiding Officer, I'm here to represent the great town of Paisley, as you may have guessed, and its many buddies. They're my people, it's my town, and it's my place in the world. Where Westminster offers more of the same, myself and my colleagues in the SNP offer hope. Where they say things can only get worse, we say there is another way. And I hope, Presiding Officer, we get closer down that road to independence and make things better for the people of Scotland.